morning, everyone. Oh my God, it's great to be back together. Can you believe it's 3 years since our last event here at the Convention Centre to mark International Women's Day? And you might recall it was just a few days later that Leo Varadkar addressed the nation from Washington with the immortal words, "I need to speak to you about coronavirus and COVID-19. He outlined a series of unprecedented measures to protect public health. And again, you might remember they were meant to last until the 29th of March that year. And at the end of his address, he said, "In time, our lives will go back to normal." Well, it's taken a bit longer than 3 weeks, but on this International Women's Day, we are so happy to be back here with you. And you're very, very welcome. Welcome to all of our guests, to members of the business community. We have several schools with us this morning, our community partners, and those who are making Ireland their home, highlighted so poignantly in those photographs from Yulia and Bariale at the beginning of the show. To every single one of you, you are welcome. And today we want to focus on the positives and the steps that we need to take to advance gender equality. But in the words of Nelson Mandela, there is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged, to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Because not one of us is the same person we were 3 years ago. We have all changed in one way or another. It feels like waves of crises have come to change our lives. And I do want to take a moment to remember all that we lost. And as it's International Women's Day in particular, we remember the 24 women who died in Ireland through gender-based violence since last we met here 3 years ago. And the pandemic and war have brought into sharp focus some long-standing and systemic inequalities in our world. In fact, 2023 has already provided stark reminders of the many systems worldwide that deny women the same rights as other humans. In Iran, women are executed by the state for appearing in public without a hijab. And across the world, there are 129 million girls denied access to school. In Afghanistan, the Taliban has ordered NGOs to stop their female employees from coming to work. And Accenture's W20 research found that women were disproportionately affected by COVID. Our earnings fell 63% faster than men's, and women are 79% more likely to be made redundant. And we're launching research this morning on the Irish workforce and found 87% of women say that they're feeling more burnt out at work since the pandemic. And the worst of it is the majority are concealing that burnout in case it hampers their career progression. So yes, gender equality still needs a lot of work. And as we face into challenges and changes in every aspect of how we live and work, International Women's Day has never been more important. So how can we use this day to plan, to reflect, and to be intentional so that we don't go backwards? It is a once-in-a-generation time of change, so we have an opportunity to address long-standing inequalities. But let's make sure that we don't sleepwalk into a nightmare dressed as a daydream, to quote Taylor Swift. So today we're going to focus broadly on 3 things that are very important to us at Accenture: work, care, and nature. How and where we work has changed. Many of these changes are for the better for all of us. But as we rebuild and return to workplaces, we want to think about how do we intentionally create the spaces that we want and in which everybody can thrive. And during the pandemic, we had to focus on care and caring for one another, and it highlighted that really our society has failed to account for the ways in which our economy relies on care. It's work that's often unseen, very often undervalued, and very often performed by women. So how do we keep that care work in focus? And we all relearned the importance of nature to our health and well-being, and yet nature is in crisis. Leaders are dealing with a whole slate of global challenges, many of them not traditionally business-related. And biodiversity protection remains low on the private sector agenda. But the World Economic Forum has said this decade must be the turning point. So as always, we're going to have some great performances and a few surprises along the way. But there is one other change that I want to talk about, because today we mark a historic milestone. We have a new chief executive, or in our language, a new country managing director. Now, Accenture's been operating in Ireland for 54 years, and over those years we have had 6 extraordinary and visionary leaders who have shaped us into the organisation we are today. So a new country managing director is always a big event for us, and a powerful catalyst for change. To date, all of our country managing directors have been men, but that changes this morning. Our new country managing director has been on stage many times for International Women's Day, but not in this role. She is an outstanding leader with a deep passion for inclusion and diversity and an unwavering commitment to our clients, to our people, and to our communities. In short, she embodies modern leadership,